see. All right, well, we're going to start anyway and hope that this is showing the right thing. Let me know when that ad gets up there. Okay, so, folks, let me start by introducing the project and what we're going to be doing. Okay, so you are going to be, is it working or not working? So it's just showing the web page, it's not, or is it showing like every, oh, it's good, right? Ish? All right, we'll accept that. That works. Okay, good. So we are, so this is a game, the title of this course, even though your schedule might have said computer cycle, it's actually game design and digital storytelling. Now, if you remember when you chose electives for next year and one of them was game design and development? Okay, well, a long time ago, this course was not offered as game design and digital storytelling, so you would take a regular kind of computer cycle where you did stuff with like PowerPoint and all sorts of exciting stuff like that, Excel and everything, and then you would get your course catalog and you would decide whether or not you wanted to take game design and development in 8th grade, and many people didn't know what that was all about. So we decided, why don't we change the 7th grade cycle, give everybody an experience in game design and digital storytelling, and that would help better inform you when you make that decision for 8th grade, right? Maybe you like game design, maybe you don't. I've found that everybody seems to enjoy this project very much. Whether or not you then think it's what you want to go into deeper in 8th grade, well, that's another story. But I'm grateful that everybody has this experience because I think it's a neat opportunity for everybody to see what making a game is all about, okay? So the premise for this class is that we're going to get into game design and digital storytelling, okay? So digital storytelling comes in many forms. You could create any activities that they would call a digital story before in another class or anything? Bless you. Okay, there are a lot of other programs that you could use to create a digital story. We're going to create a digital story using either Minecraft or Gamestar Mechanic, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to take an existing fairy tale, folk tale, or fable. Anybody have a favorite fairy tale, folk tale, or fable? Who has a favorite fairy tale? Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Perfect. So you could totally take Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and what you would be doing is you would be recreating or reimagining Goldilocks and the Three Bears in Minecraft or Gamestar Mechanic. And when I say reimagining, we're going to actually rewrite the story to be original and somewhat unique for you, okay? So let's say Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Let's say we want to recreate that in Minecraft or Gamestar Mechanic. How might we change the story a little bit to bring Goldilocks and the Three Bears into Minecraft or Gamestar Mechanic? How might the story change? We still want to have a whole story arc, right? So you still want to have, what are the parts of a story that you do in language arts class? What are the important parts of a story? What are the story elements in a story? Come on. Yes, first name? Nina. Okay, the rising action comes after what, though? What's that first part called? The beginning? Okay. I think they call it the exposition. Is that right? Yes. Okay, which is like the beginning or the intro or the context, right? Even the backstory in a game. And then the rising action, right? And then what do we get to after the rising action? Bless you. Climax, which is like the culminating part of the story, right? So what might happen let's say, so we're talking about what story again? Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Okay, what's the intro or the exposition to Goldilocks and the Three Bears? She walks into the woods and comes across what? What? A cabin, and she goes into the cabin, right? Okay. Then what's maybe the rising action, or even there's a little more maybe in the exposition is probably her kind of settling into the cabin and eating a little porridge and all that, right? What might be the rising action in Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Nothing happens, that's the end of the story. She goes in, she falls comfortably asleep in the bed, and that's it. What happens?
I think the bears walk in on her sleeping.
I think the bears walk in. The rising action is probably they arrive home. They maybe start to get a little suspicious, right? What do they notice when they walk into the kitchen? Chair's broken, they notice. They're starting to get a little more suspicious. What else?
The porridge is gone.
The porridge is gone. Maybe the door to the bedroom is open, you know, and then what's maybe the climax in that story? Well, not just her in the bed, but what? The bears find her. Somebody broke into their house and ate their porridge, broke their chair, and is sleeping in their bed, right? Now, I don't even remember. Let's see. So then you have the falling action and resolution of conflict. How does that story even end? Does anybody know? I hope the bears don't kill Goldilocks.
Oh, God.
Do they? No, what happens? I don't know. Do you know? Anybody know? I guess we're going to have to do our research, right? What's that? She runs home? Is that what you said? I don't know. Does she? I don't remember. That's sad. I remember all the way up to them finding her. That part stands out to me, right? So we'll have to figure that out. But nice, beautifully, in this lesson plan that's here for you, some of the things that are included are links to fairy tales, folk tales, and fables. So let's see if we can find Goldilocks in here. Let's do a quick search. Goldie. Uh-oh, she's not in this one. So we might have to do a search somewhere else for Goldilocks and Three Bears. But we do have others here like, let's say Cinderella, right? Let's say you decide to do Cinderella. Now here's the supposed original story of Cinderella. Now that's rather long, right? Not terribly so, but it's kind of long. So this is telling an entire story. I think we mostly know the story of Cinderella, right? You ever hear of it? Yeah. So if you were to rewrite Cinderella or Goldilocks, you're going to change it around a little to be sort of imaginative. Now, the reason I start you with an existing fairy tale, folktale, or fable is I feel that these are stories, you know, you're going to probably pick one you kind of know by heart, and then what you're doing is modifying or changing it, but not writing a complete story for your game, okay? And the reason I like to do that is that we don't spend as much time writing. We want to get into the tool of either Minecraft or Gamestar Mechanic, but we do want to have a context, and we do want to make it interesting for the player/reader, okay? So ultimately, people are going to play your game. They're going to go through the story. They're going to encounter a number of challenges. That's going to be the game part that you're going to design, and then hopefully they're going to, I hope they all live happily ever after, okay? So that's kind of the context. So today, you're going to be focusing on rewriting a story. But again, see how long this story is? If you're going to tell a whole story in whatever tool we're using, it's going to be a full story, okay? I can't emphasize enough that this project is about digital storytelling. So the story part that you create, whether it be in Minecraft or Gamestar Mechanic, is going to drive the entire game or process, right? So people are going to feel immersed in your story. They're going to feel invested, we hope. We want them to take on the persona of the main character and feel like they are that character, right? So you got to really get into that mindset when you're writing this. This might be a computer elective or cycle, but it is a project that could very well be done in your English language arts class, right? So imagine that you're writing this story for your English language arts teacher, and that they're going to grade it the way they would grade any story of yours. In other words, I want that level of effort to go into it, okay? So that's a big part of it. Then later, we're going to get into several other parts. Remember how we did the activity on emotions in games? Yeah? Do you remember how the idea there was to figure out what emotion was the person who made the game trying to evoke in you? Right? So we're going to also be thinking about that for our challenges, so we get the sense of what are we trying to make the player feel in each of these, okay? So here's the whole process. Today, and probably tomorrow, you're focusing on nothing but writing the story. You may work with a partner, okay? If you do, you're going to work in a Google Doc. That's what's set up for the story. You're going to write that story together. You could work with a team as large as you want if you're using Minecraft. If you're using Gamestar Mechanic, I only have you work in teams of 2 because you're typically working at one computer in Gamestar Mechanic. But Minecraft, you're all on your own computer, right? So you're going to rewrite the story today. Tomorrow, you're going to finish that, and then you're going to create a storyboard. Anybody know what a storyboard is? Anybody ever create a storyboard? What is a storyboard? Yes?
It's like they made for you to plan out your story.
Beautiful. It's the way for you to plan out the story, but in our case, somewhat graphically, like how you're going to play it out in Minecraft or Gamestar Mechanic. So you're going to come up with frames that are going to show each area the person's going to go into, what part of the story it'll be, where the path takes them maybe, what challenge they're going to encounter. That's how you're going to map all that out. Then after, what's today? Today's Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll probably cover all of that. And then Monday, you'll hit the floor running, creating your game. And then after you create the first, what we call iteration of your game, we're going to test it and get feedback from some of your classmates. Then you're going to go fix it based on that feedback. Then you're going to work on it more, have the next iteration of your game tested, and then you'll ultimately create the final version. So you have about a month for this project, right? So we're starting with what part today? Writing the story or rewriting a story, fairy tale, folktale, or fable. So when I say ready, set, go in a moment, what you're going to do, let's see if I can find it. In Classroom, there's the design document template. Okay? This is the design document template. You're going to go and you're going to make a copy of it. Okay? And when you make a copy, make sure the copy of it has yours and all of your partners' names on it. And then ultimately that's what you're going to turn into Google Classroom. But the only part I'm concerned with right now is the story. And remember, it's a full story. So if you're reading Goldilocks and the Three Bears in one of those websites, you're essentially going to rewrite it with all that. Do not get in the bad habit. What a lot of people do when they think of it like it's going to be a game, they think of it like they want to tell the player what they're going to do next. And now you have to go and kill 3 wolves before you go to the next part. That's not the story. That's like telling me what to do. You're writing a full story. Think of it as nothing but a story. Got it? Okay, so you can start to form teams and ready, set, go. No, if you're, no. Are you using Minecraft or Gamestar Mechanic? Everybody who's going to be on your team is going to work on writing it together.
We do Minecraft, it's just the two of
Yes,
us.
you can, yep, totally.
Also, can you help me with my computer?
What's that?
Can we have like whoever, as many people we want?
Yes, for Minecraft, yes.
Alright, do Minecraft first.
Alright, can you help me with my computer?
Brandon, we'll
It's not
switch
turning
shirt.
on.
Yeah.